Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode. What up, what up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast. Hey, before we get into this episode, I wanted to tell you about a couple of our partners. These are some of the folks that help us keep the podcast going, and they've been nice enough to offer some exclusive discounts for our listeners. Now, if you've watched us on YouTube, you all know how we love to display our kicks when we're not rocking them. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase your entire shoe, not just the heel, not just the toe, shoe trees, a number of other sneaker-related accessories. You can save 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY. You can find a link to Sneaker Throne in the description, or you can just head to sneakerhistory.com/sneakerthrone and it will send you directly to their site. Again, that's 10% off with the code HISTORY. Our friends at Prospect are the premier streetwear brand and sneaker boutique based in sunny San Diego, California. One of my favorite places. Prospect is not your typical hypebeast haven, though. They carry classic footwear from brands like Asics, New Balance, Puma, Saucony, as well as local and globally known streetwear brands like Belief, Illust, Rottweiler, Stussy, and many others. Not to mention their own Prospect label and the iconic Just a Kid from Dago collection. If you're a listener of the podcast, you can save 10% on all of your orders from Prospect through their website with the code HISTORY10. That's promo code HISTORY10 at PRSPCTSD.com. If you or someone you know is interested in sponsoring the podcast or becoming a partner with our community, get in touch with us. You can reach us by email at podcast@sneakerhistory.com, and we'll get back to you with information about how we can partner. And now for today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move!
LeBron James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. I'm chilling here with Rohit and Ty Diggs. How's everybody doing today?
I wish I had his wallet. I mean, that'd be cool.
His pets, his wallet.
I'll tell you this. I went to LA once and I was doing the super touristy thing and walking down Beverly Hills. I saw Ty Diggs with the smallest dog and an even smaller hat, just walking and living his best life. So I'm in agreement with you, Michael. If he has a good life, we all aspire to be Tay Diggs, if we're being honest with ourselves.
I can think of worse calls, but how are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Party
man.
people.
Good.
I'm not just happy to chop it up with you guys talking about our favorite things.
Man,
Yo, boy.
we will be chopping it up. We're going to be chopping up and breaking down some, for the most part, August releases. A lot of these don't have firm dates, but we do have official images. So that typically comes with like a 5-week window in my book, my estimation. So before we jump all the way into it, let's review it first. Let's start off with the review, and then we'll get into rocking and copping. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Excellent. So I'll go ahead and start. As always, you can leave us reviews at Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Audible, wherever you are listening to this podcast from. Leave us a review there because it only helps us. But Baby Daddy Nate has said 5 stars, and he goes, "My personal weekly sneaker therapy session. I love listening to you guys every week and love the addition of the sneaker draft as well. A true podcast that shows the ugly and true conversations of shoes we wear on our feet and the meaning behind them. And as a San Antonio native, I love my Spurs, and I know Mike does too. Insert burn from Rohit. Love the work. Baby Daddy Nate, thank you so much. Greg Popovich thanks you. Mike's firstborn and secondborn thank you. So Mike, please address Baby Daddy Nate."
I mean, I can't. I have no words. I just, yeah.
I get it. It's like a Michael Bolton situation from Office Space. You celebrate their entire catalog. Totally get it. Robbie, back to you.
Let me put this out there in Mike and Houston's defense. So 5 championships versus 2 isn't all that different. I mean, it's not like it's 17 and 5 or like 17 and 2.
You can still count them on one hand, so we're all even
It's
at
right
this
there.
point.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. You're really splitting hairs with those last 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, so I'll just, I guess, try to think what's the best way to like get into rocking and copping. Anybody have anything fun? Mine's personally boring today. I don't really have the coolest rock. Anybody wear anything cool?
I stayed in the house, so I really didn't get to wear much, but I'll start us off with a cop. So, because we spoke about it so damn much, USA kit, it is fantastic. Tactics PDX, thank you for the Instagram shout out saying you guys had it, because your boy definitely dropped everything as soon as I saw that and ran over.
I'm out.
And I got the matching socks.
Yo.
Just because this was kind of from a couple weeks ago, and the box seriously feels like it's come from the year 1996 directly.
Oh, you got the shoes too?
Oh, no.
I was like, yeah, duh.
Oh, still awesome. I'm not mad about that.
What a sneaky pickup there.
Where'd you get those from?
Talking about it so frequently, I figured I need to put my money where my mouth is, and until Fila sends me something, I can do my part and support the brand. So, Fila, thank you for the shoes. The packaging needs a little work. Mike, what did you cop and rock?
What I rocked was the very underrated What the Jordan 4. I figure it's a nice way to rock the USA jersey without getting too crazy by putting a USA shoe on as well. So very nice way just to complement each other. What I copped was the Adidas Ozelia, which is a GR that they just threw on their website that has very, As We Go / Yeezy 700 fill in the blank, whatever version vibes. Super nice shoe, $100. Just did a review on it. I know people don't want to really look at GR, just stuff that's like $100, but this is a dope shoe, super comfortable, and especially with like kids going back to school. Heck, even adults going back to school. Don't sleep.
Hey man, night classes. Get that grind.
Exactly.
That colorway is really cool. I like the red with that yellow or something.
Yeah, it's like a sunset, like it's a gradient on it. So like the old the Tuned Air Max Plus reminded me of that sunset colorway almost.
Very nice. No, it really does. Beautiful. Now, the streets and the internets are not ready for this hotness. I got the official South Point Casino slide. What you know about those slides? South Point.
Look how thin they are. Like, put them in your pocket.
They give those only to the biggest.
Really though, I wore this Jordan 1 lows. I went on a bike ride today. 20 miles. I went 20-mile bike ride with these things on a day. And you would never know. They feel fine, man. It's super funny how it wasn't a hard, aggressive ride. It was definitely for pleasure.
Yeah.
For leisure, it is nice. I kind of like the wings on the back. A lot of people do not enjoy the jump. This doesn't bother me nearly as much as this. The 2-3 looks kind of goofy. But Jordan Brand sent me these like 2 years ago, so I still wear them. I'm like, you know what?
I am convinced that model, because of the marketing behind it, was like a lot of Paul Rodriguez, a lot of skateboarders. That was a skateboarding shoe. I know people are mad it wasn't the OG, but you have to think about what it was for. Again, it was the marketing behind it, the initial commercials for it. Because I mean, I got my wife's pair right here. She has the black toes. I sold my pair because some idiot bought it for $300. No offense, person who bought them, but really, but
I'm then going to use this opportunity to switch over, because when it comes to my copping, I'm really looking to get on. And it's a polarizing statement, I guess, in 2021. But I want some Yeezys. I want to get on Yeezy Day, which is going to be happening August 2nd. So it's both like our first intro story to the evening, and also what I'm looking to cop. So it's like, I was telling Rohit, I have a vacation coming up in about a month. I'm trying just to like beat the living hell out of some shoes, and I've been purposely not buying Yeezys on resale, even though they're really not all that expensive. I've been finding pairs for like $250, $245, less than $300. And when retail is like $220, it's like, okay, that's really not that big of a deal. But with the announcement of the day of Yeezy coming up, it's like, why play myself a week before I have a chance at GR? Let's go for it. So do you guys care at all? Mike, I know you said one shoe interests you.
yeah, I definitely always been interested. I won't say I was always a fan of the Wave Runner, but I was always interested. But I've become a fan more and more. I've seen it, so I really want to try that one out. I gotta see what else is on the lineup, because I hadn't really been checking for it. I knew it was coming. I thought it was later in the month, so I really wasn't paying attention. I've heard that black reflectives are coming back as well. Is that correct?
I believe so. That's the rumor.
They haven't said much
Yeah.
about what shoes they are, but just that it's happening.
My only concern is that I've always heard rumors that with Yeezy Day, I mean, it's only happened, 2, maybe 3 times now. This will be the 3rd time. Is that it's just stock that they didn't put out, so it's not as much available. So it's going to be a real tricky cop. But I don't know if my Adidas like icon status, whatever that is, will help me with that. I mean, they said it helps with limited releases, so we'll put it to the test, I guess.
What's funny is that the stock of Yeezy Day in the past is exactly what you said. They are hit or miss, but for the most part, they have full size runs in a lot of the shoes. There are definitely like the hyper rare ones, like I think specifically the Belugas and the Black Friday stuff. Those were super limited, but not Black Friday, Yeezy Day 2019, I successfully copped 3 pairs.
Oh, dope.
On my own. No, I think a friend got one of them, but yeah, I got through 2 just on EasySupply.com, like it refreshing. So like they were the Moonrock 500s and the Utility Black. I got 2 pairs of Utility Blacks. I sold the second one. So, but like, so those aren't the most like coveted Yeezys, but like for someone who enjoys wearing them, it's like, yeah, no brainer. I'm going to buy these for retail. And like, if they're not the coolest, they're not the coolest. The only pairs I don't want, like Hex, stay away from me, is that mono ice, like the really translucent pairs.
Oh, yeah.
Rohit, do you have any, like, I know you're not the biggest Yeezy head, but like, is there like a specific version of a shoe or a model of the line that you're like, I would like that, or I would not like that?
I'm intrigued by the 700 V3, but yeah, it's been one of those weird things that, to your point, I've kind of gotten out of my Yeezy fandom as I've gotten a little bit older, but I'm always happy to help people that need raffles. In this case, you two are my guys, so you have my shield and you have my sword. I also am intrigued by the foam runner, just because just have a penchant. Yeah. But at this point, it's one of those weird things that I'm worried that the wrong people will see me buy this shoe from a employment status. So that's why have kind of got it in my head that I don't need to get them unless I'm helping others. So nothing of that sort, but I'm happy to help both of you guys on that front.
Sold. I mean,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Mike, dude, if you had a chance to get a pair of like the foam runners, would you be interested in that?
I would, for retail, yeah. I'm very interested to see. I've heard they're just comfortable, and I mean, walking a dog or, doing whatever just around the house. I mean, or running to the store for, whatever. They're cool. I wouldn't just buy them for, resell, because that's insane to me. I mean, $80 is, I guess, enough I could, in a sense, gamble on a shoe being halfway decent.
The rave reviews of how they actually feel is cool. The hoopla to get a pair is not cool. I can just get a pair of Crocs. I have a friend who bought a pair, I think, for like $20 or $40 from a flea market of like fake Easy Runners.
Oh.
And you really can't even tell.
That's not
honestly,
a Walmart deal, yeah.
You really can't. So it's interesting though. I like how Yeezy, Kanye, Adidas has really lived up to the like everybody can get a pair. They're hot and you can have a pair. They're like for Rohit here. They're like the McLaren of shoes. Like, is it a gorgeous? Is it elite? Is it fast? Is it cool? Yes. But will they let you win and buy one the same day? Yes. Will Ferrari do the same? No. So it's like Jordan versus, is it? I'm not going to go down the car thing, but it's interesting to see how you can very much so keep status and appease people. It's not that hard.
And as you were talking, Robbie, I did realize I like the Yeezy Boost 750, but I haven't seen any sort of models of that release in the past 6 months. But also, obviously, I wasn't checking for it. But if there's a Boost 750, I might try for that, just because I like that high cut shoe.
Yeah.
They are good.
Retro again, or not retro, but re-release. I can't say retro; it's not that old, but that's one that they haven't come back out with. And I think that's one that grew on people, because I think with shoes like that one, and then follow up with Fear of God, I think people kind of look back at that one more fondly because, that was a pretty nice shoe. But
did Kanye start stuff and everybody else started doing stuff after? What?
Right.
You don't say.
What I need, though, is him to release Donda, because I swear if I look at Apple iTunes one more time, I almost threw my phone at one point. Good thing we went camping where there was like no signal. I was so frustrated because I just watched the whole YouTube event. I was like, so can I have it?
Yeah, August 6th, I believe that's the release date.
Yeah.
I believe it when I see it. At this point, I don't believe him. He's a fibber.
You're absolutely right. As somebody that was trying to wait for Life of Pablo to release, and being in an airport and being like, okay, I've got to head home, but this album has to be on my phone. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So, to your point, Mike, I will only believe a Kanye West album releases when I'm six songs into the album.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so end on this hot take with Kanye, because Mike, you're excited for the CD. Rohit, you seem pretty excited. I get pretty excited. I like the shoes, but I've been seeing a lot of posts, and consistently since Trump was president, like, we're just going to ignore the shitty parts about Kanye. It's like, let's ignore the shitty parts about Kanye. Fuck yeah, I am. He didn't Jeffrey Epstein anybody. He didn't Bill Cosby anybody. He was off his meds, and he's Kanye. It's like, yes, he didn't really, really hurt anybody. Like, people love to throw that out, like, he's gonna know all the stuff about Kanye. Like, yeah, I am. He didn't hurt anybody. Like, nobody's dead because of it. Or nobody's like permanently scarred because of it. It's like, he is just cuckoo, and that's cool.
Here's the thing: if Jay-Z can forgive him, not forget him, because he probably had the best verse I'd heard off of Donda.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and he has the line about directly referencing Donda herself and saying, "We've got your son back." It gives me hope. There's a tiny bit of
little glimmer
sunlight. Yeah.
Well, he said put the red hat down, come on home. So it's like maybe he's got his medicine back in him again, and we can get normal Kanye is a stretch, but whatever he is, we can get that back.
Well, the thing is though, it's never he's not normal, and that's
what I'm
okay.
Saying. No, it's normal would be like normal for Kanye, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just people need to like.
Not even a question of normalcy. I just want that gentleman to feel comfortable in his skin, because I think more often than what we saw, especially in the last 18 months or so, was somebody that felt the need to, lack of a better term, act out and showcase to people, hey, I'm the sane one. I'm the one that's in charge of me. And whenever you do that, unequivocally, people look at you and think you're even wilder than what you are. And we're not trying to label anybody or shame anybody. It's just an independent observation from three guys that care about the man, who care about his music and his shoes. But yeah, I think this is pardon the bad pun, a step in the right direction. I'm holding out hope that we don't see the old Kanye, but we also don't see the new Kanye either. We just see a Kanye that's most assuredly believing in himself, and that's probably when we all benefit from all of his creative outputs.
True. So let's just go right to another artist then. So you have Kanye on one side and you have Drake on the other side of the spectrum, which is super funny because I've talked to Adidas people and like there were Adidas Drake shoes. Like they were ready to make that move. Like it was like on the 1 yard line and then it fumbled. So because of that, I bring up that story because Drake stayed with the brand Nike to release this Air Force One piece of shit. Like, bruh. That's honestly how I feel about it. It's like I've seen very few lazier, and to counteract my own point, I'm gonna give it to you guys. I've had people say like, "Oh, that's just how Drake is. You give Drake fucking time to do anything. He doesn't make like a white fucking boring ass thing because he's not like creative like that. He wants clean stuff. He aesthetically very like minimal, and it's like." To a point, yes, but somebody like help that man make his shoe. Like help him. Help.
I mean,
he don't want to be helped.
You know, the thing is, this is a prime example when having too much pride goes wrong because he could have went ahead with Adidas, did his thing, and who knows how it would have went. But I guess that's a multiverse story we'll never get to see. And honestly, I don't mind the clean aesthetic. But let's try a little harder. Like, if they know Drake will sell out a shoe, which he does, they gave him, like, the weirdest model Jordans when he was with Jordan Brand. I'm like, why are you giving him these and you're doing the same thing in every model? The best ones to me were the 12s, in my opinion. But it was the same thing. And then on top of that, when he released the OVO 8s, Jordan Brand made a confetti pack 8 that had the same shoe. Like... I was like, do they not respect this man enough to get him do something more? But the Air Force One is literally the laziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was telling Robbie the other day, I was like, they spent more time on the popcorn Air Force One that came out a couple months ago than they did on this Drake one. And this, what was it, Hot Stepper, whatever? That is really, it's like an Air Max 96 that ate too much. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, what do you
help
think?
This man.
Here's the thing. I mean, he knows whatever he's going to put out is going to sell. So maybe this is all an elaborate joke on all of us where he's going to laugh at us in 15 years. The more entertaining question to me now is what comes out first, Certified Lover Boy or Donda? Because we were supposed to get CLB at the start of the year, right? And we've kind of all forgotten about this. And this shoe is in conjunction with that album supposed to release somewhere later on in this summer, if not maybe bleeding into the fall. I'm assuming it's going to be a package rollout. I could be wrong. But when are we going to see these albums? Because at the end of the day, as great of shoe designers as they think they are, and to some level they are pretty decent, the music is what got him here. And that's more what I care about in that sense, because I want to see, does he maintain that minimalist approach in his music for this album, let's say? Maybe Certified Lover Boy is his version of Drake Unplugged to kind of quench the thirst of old heads out there. But who knows? At this point, if he's selling it and people are buying it and everybody's happy and nobody's hurting themselves, go for it, Drake. But yeah, not one that I would probably check out for because your boy's a slob. And the first spill of mustard or yum sauce or barbecue sauce is going to ruin the sneaker. But hey, maybe you can pass that off as tie-dyeing.
No. Have any of you guys owned any Drake Nike, Drake Jordan, Nocta, OVO piece of anything? Because I've never have. And it was more because I went to an OVO store in Los Angeles when I went to go visit with a buddy some years back. And I saw, like, I walked in, you know, being almost 30 years old at the time. And I saw, like, a bunch of, you know, young kids being dropped off by their mother with stacks of money and going in the store. It's like, I can't buy this. it's not me. It's not my motif. So I just don't know who it really appeals to because I don't really see a ton of people actually wearing it, except for kids.
So I own a pair of the black 10s, the white 10s,
Okay.
a couple of T-shirts, and a long sleeve. But at the time, I was a Nike employee, and we got them for discount.
Oh, I would do the same
So
thing.
that appealed to me. That appealed to me as a frugal first generation immigrant who would probably at one point would have loved to have been the kid with the racks on their hands going to these markets,
doing
but
this.
realizing that was never me. So they're great shoes. There is a certain luxury component to those shoes that I think you can't deny because they feel very pretty when you hold them in the hand. But yeah, I don't know if I would pay retail for them, let alone resell. So,
Yeah.
Robbie, how about you?
No, and I think they're all dated looking, so I don't even really care. Like they looked cool at the time, but in retrospect, it's all very it's a dated Jordan look. So I'm good on those. I mean, so let's just keep it up with retro. Let's switch it up to Nike because this next one's actually like a pretty interesting shoe. So we have the Air Moab coming back in the Birch colorway for its 30th anniversary sometime in August. Based off of how Nike releases stuff, we'll get it eventually. But this is one I actually am fairly interested in because I like to hike outside. And the free run trails from last week, they had them in my size and at the employee store, but it's like I wanted the white pair, so I didn't buy them. So I didn't want the cargo khaki. But I like outdoor shoes. What do you guys think? Just quick take on it.
I wanted the Olivia Kim pair that came out 2-ish years ago. I should have bought them because they didn't really. I mean, it had a little bit of resale value, I think, at the time, but I don't think they were terribly hard to get, and I just kind of moved past them because I didn't want to pay resale. So I wish I would have got those. So this one coming back around, I think I'm gonna definitely put some effort to try to get a pair.
This is a clean shoe, and ironically, it's going to get dirty when you go on a hike, but it's meant to be that way.
Yep.
And I think it's probably one of those rare shoes, the dirtier it gets, maybe it unlocks a new level of aesthetic brilliance behind it. But yeah, I would try for this shoe too. But if Robbie wanted my raffle pass, I would also give it to him as well because I know how much he rides or dies for this particular shoe. But it's a good shoe. If out of all the shoes we've discussed, I think this would be the one I would try for the most.
Yeah, it's definitely up there, and it's going to be annoying that it's still going to be just as difficult. I would say just as difficult to get as a pair of Yeezys because people are just assholes. So I'm going to hold off on this next one to see how Team USA does if we go 0-2 or if we even it up. So we'll hold off on Team USA. This next one, it's odd that it's coming out now when last year was a whole, or was it earlier this year? The time is so crazy. The ray gun push of late 2020, early 21, let's put it that way, was strong. You can still find a lot of that gear on sale at Nike. But they have a ray gun 95 coming out randomly like 5-6 months later. I think they're sick, though. That's why I put them on this list to talk about. The color blocking is really good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think this is, out of all the ray gun shoes I thought I liked, this is head and shoulders above everything. And I like how they didn't bombard us with the ray gun imagery. It's just a simple color blocking that alludes to ray gun, but if you didn't know any better, you would just be like, that's a clean shoe.
Right? Like, you don't have to have... I like the ray gun logo, too. I have a pair of shoes or two. I think I have 2 pairs in the back with the ray gun logo, and they're dope. But it's cool when you don't have them either. Pop quiz. Would you rather have these or the Air Max 95 Laker, like the LeBron ones?
Ooh. Mike, go for it. I'll still have to think.
I'd rather have these. I'll tell you mine as we go.
I was like, I think I'd go for these. Just I don't know. I love the color blocking on them. I'm not a big 95 fan, so I'll probably leave them both on the table. But if I was forced to pick one, I'd go with the ray gun.
I'd go Lakers. And if I remember the lyric correctly, I would be Game's best friend, and hopefully I wouldn't die because one of his homies got shot for his Air Max 95. So.
Yeah. It's like 2002 game. That's...
Hated to love it.
Oh man.
Rohit sings the hits.
Oh, sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, is this one of those things though? Do you think it's gonna sell on sneakers? Because we have not brought up the my trial separation with sneakers app. For those who know me and those who have who are in the Discord, good friends there, have I had my final straw when I couldn't get the SB jersey, and I've just turned off sneakers app. I have been actually very, very at peace when it comes to sneakers without having notifications pop up on my phone, not knowing what's going on. I may miss it on the gang of things, but it's been very nice. So I just think that these things like this, they're particular, like planning these certain items. So this 95, even though it was late, there's a reason behind it. They know it was going to sell out probably for whatever reason, because 95 just happened to do so. Just to put a little bit of spice in the month of August, since it may be, back to school month again. You're trying to get some more items out there.
Back to school. Back to school.
Prove today I'm not a fool.
I would love for Nike to do this experiment where they just put 10 of the most random things that they can imagine on sneakers and just see how quickly they sell out, just to showcase the power of sneakers and not necessarily the power of the product. Because I think, similar to you, Mike, there was a frustration in my mind that, oh crap, I didn't hit on the skateboarding kit that I wanted. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't even really try anymore, just because of the fact that nothing really interests me in the same way that one-offs will now and then. But I'm more than willing to kind of help out my friends, because helps me get over my losses as well. Because I don't feel as bad for some reason. Maybe that's cruel of me to say, but when it's your loss and I'm disguising it, it's fine. I'm okay.
I'm okay. It's fine.
Rohit's secretly happy to be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to tell him got an L, baby.
I feel like Professor Chaos. So here's my thing. I always thought I was the Butters of the podcast, and helping out friends on sneakers makes me feel like Professor Chaos. So there you
go. How can I ruin their day to day? Oh, L.
I hate to tell you, but you're the loser. That's good to know, though. I honestly just, because I check sneakers at the beginning of the week normally to see what's coming out, and then I adjust whether or not I need to wake up. I wake up early as fuck every day, though. So, like, it's whether or not I even look at the app. It doesn't really matter to me. This next one I think is going to be on the app, but it shouldn't, because this shoe's garbage. The Air Max 96 2, the Air Max 96 Uno is also trash. If I remember the story correctly, and I am not an Air Max professional, the 96 1 was so crappy, they dropped the 96 2 like right away. Sneaker historians, please help me out with that. I should be a sneaker historian on the Sneaker History podcast, but I wouldn't have pulled that story out of my ass if it didn't feel a little bit right. So do you guys even care about an Air Max 96?
Not really.
Not really.
Like,
right, let's move on.
Yeah, I was like, we can just keep on pushing at that point.
Cool.
Great year for hip hop, not necessarily a good year for that shoe. Which, that reminds me, did you guys see the meme of all the heat that came out in 1996? That was kind of bombarding everybody's social media timelines this week. Because that truly was a golden year of sneakers, because you had the Fila 2s that I just kind of promoted during Rocking and Copping, the Air More Up Tempos, the Jordan 11s. It was a great year, but to Robbie's point, I didn't see no Air Max 96 on that list.
They went, meh.
Man, I'm gonna reach out to Seth, my resident Air Max genius, and be like, hey, or maybe even Retro Kid. I know somebody can answer that story for me, but I swear to God, there's like, they released the Air Max 96 2 because the first one was so bad, or it didn't, not literally so bad, it didn't sell so hot. But weird story, I think I know. Next episode, to be continued. Now, this next shoe I put on the list because I had a really cute moment today. It's the Kyrie 4, the Kyrie Low 4. Not a low version of the 4. It's the fourth low shoe.
The fourth version
in a one world, one piece. One world, one people shoe. I said one piece. One world, one people. And I put it on the list because I had a text from a friend who went to the Nike employee store yesterday, a local guy, and he bought a pair of Kyrie 4 lows. And he's like, oh, I got these yesterday. They're so sick. What do you think? And I was like, those are awesome. They're dope. Congrats. And I'm telling this story because those are my favorite kind of texts to get, because I hate when people ask me what I think they should get. I hate when people ask me, like, what's cool, because it's like my perception of what's cool is my perception of what's cool.
Right.
Like, there's people who think classic Air Maxes are the shit, and I just think they're ugly as hell. So, like, you could think those are the greatest shoes, and I'm not going to recommend it to you because I don't like it. You could be missing out on that oyster that you didn't get to open up. But I love when people just text me. It's like, hey, I bought this already. I didn't ask for your opinion. I'm happy about this purchase. How do you feel? I'm always going to hype you up because you made the choice. You made the decision. You did it. And it's ultimately a cool shoe. But, like, don't be asking me for what I think. Don't be asking. Unless you're paying a retainer. Yeah, $20.
Here's
Or
the thing, Robbie. If you made that service available, I can think of people that would take you up on that.
oh no,
offer.
for
You just
sure
have
people would.
Yeah,
And I
you
have
just
good
a certain
advice too.
aesthetic.
That's why I don't give it to you, because it costs money. It's good.
Too good.
But no, I just love when people are like, I did this already. I did it after the fact. You're texting me and you're happy because you spent the money. You're happy. You have to wear it. What I think is cool has nothing to do with any of that. So, how about the shoe though? Do you like the shoe? Is the shoe cool? The
I do
Kyrie
like the
Low
shoe.
4?
I was just taken back by your powerful words there. No, the Kyrie lows have been very interesting to me because they almost go a little bit more out there with the color schemes and the blocking for the lows. At least that's just my opinion on it. But this one is good. I probably think this is in the top 2 of shoes that we've discussed, and it's not 1, but it's 2, and that has to say something. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I think some of the low silhouettes have been really nice. I really like the, I guess it was the low 3, the Shishiko colorway. It was like the sesame or tan color with the blue stitching going through it. It's one that I think still hanging around. I think when it hits like the $60 mark, I might snag it. But it's a cool shoe. I think there's even a Keep Shoe Fresh version of the low coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's pretty dope as well. So I think I'd be more interested in buying them once I start playing basketball again. It just seems like it's been forever since I've actually been on the court, and I got so many shoes here that I actually need to try out first before I buy another basketball shoe.
Exactly. One caveat I will ask the Kyrie team if they are listening, can we also keep Kelsey fresh? Because right now Kelsey Plum is probably the best USA basketball player we've seen in the Olympics. So keep it up, because I've had more people reach out to me in a similar to Robbie's situation where they love telling me about how much they enjoy the 3-on-3 basketball as opposed to the traditional 5-on-5. And I hadn't caught a game, so this morning I made a point to kind of catch up on overnight highlights of what happened. And let me tell you, the 3-on-3 is fantastic. It's super frenetic. It's super, yeah. So keep Kelsey fresh, and let's get a gold, because we're not so sure about USA basketball on the men's side.
So really, Big Mama Steph is the star of the big 3. I guess it's 4 ladies, but the 3-on-3. But Big Mama Steph is unguardable in every fashion around the hoop. I think she's like 80% finishing around the hoop.
Really?
She can't be stopped.
Low post institute.
Cannot be stopped.
She's just done phenomenal.
But with the Kyrie Low, I think of him as just like a really cool, like it's a shoe. It's a shoe for the children. And that's cool. Like, you want to have like fresh. I mean, let's say you go to a high school and your team colors are boring. You throw those on, you're set. So great shoe for the kids. And I like how they haven't like made it like the Phenomenon or Trey 5s. It feels like an actual. Model. Yeah, it is a budget model, but like it's cool still. It's a cool budget model. Now,
kind of got SpongeBob vibes too, a little. Sorry, I digress.
I mean, it depends on the color, but yeah, there's definitely some square pants to be had there.
Remember the SpongeBob pack? They did the Sandy, and then they did the Mr. Krabs. So I guess I don't consider it the budget model so much as opposed to just a second offering, because it's still the same tech from my understanding. I could be wrong, but it's just they chopped it down instead of they're basically trying to catch money on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Mike. It's really not like a takedown model. It's more just like a pure low cut. What I don't get, and I get for the most models, I get why you can't do this, but why shoes from low to high don't look more similar. LeBron's high and lows cannot look any more different from each other. Mm-hmm. And if you want to establish that dichotomy, that's cool, but I want to have a low, like the LeBron 8, I can think of, I guess the 9 technically kind of looks like the LeBron 9, but the 9 low didn't. The 8 was probably the last one that really looked like the same shoe, high and low. But it's cool. It's cool how they do that. You had to do it with Kobe with the 9 Elite and then the normal 9.
The 9
you kind of cut it. Yeah, the super high, and then like there was actually the EXT too, which is like a mid cut. So there's a couple options there. Yep. Let's go ahead and just end the evening on the Bodega Club C from Reebok, because we got 2 pairs releasing on August 7th. This is one of the few shoes we're going to be talking about that actually has like a definite release date, which is fun. You got a light offering and a dark offering. I am feeling the kind of like weird punk rock '90s feels of that purple pair. What do you guys think of these Club C's?
I actually hadn't seen them yet. I'm trying to pull up a picture.
I'm
They're
trying
cool.
to find them as well. I was going to ask Robbie where you're seeing them because I don't see them.
I think I
If
found
you
them
just
on
scroll-
Hypebeast. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Two offering. You got one brown and purple looking. One's just
Ooh.
like white and brown.
I'm really liking that white and brown one. Both are nice, but it's always like that white and brown. That I guess that basically the mocha type colorways. I'm always a fan of the mixture of the tans, the white and brown. So I am a fan of that. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that either. I kind of like the white and purple, but I don't think you can go wrong either way because the purple pops in a really nice, subtle way.
Popped like a grape. That's awesome,
Like
though.
behind the grimace underneath those shoes.
They might be, but just like the Club C, I think is one of like the most wearable, approachable sneakers there are. Period. I have a friend who literally just bought a pair of like the vintage looking ones for funsies, and she was just so. She also just sent me a picture after. Was like, "Hey, are these cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they are. Thanks for not asking me beforehand." But like, they really are sick. I mean, it's like. It's so approachable. Like you can get them. I think she got them at Urban Outfitters or some shit. It's like you don't have to go to like a cool shop, a cool sneaker boutique to find cool shoes if you're getting into shoes. We might have new listeners. We're not all 40-year-old grumpy men listening to other grumpy men talk about shoes. I like to think that newer people come in and you can buy cool shoes without other people's opinion.
Now, I would say this. The one time somebody did ask me for my advice on picking between 4 shoes, they were all Club C's. And I think it was between the Kermit the Frog, might have been 2 other cartoon properties. And I was like, no, similar to what Robbie said, go with what brings you the most joy. And then out of nowhere, we both saw the Hot Ones Club C. And my cousin said, yep, this is the one. She ended up getting the Hot Ones Club C. And unofficially, it's become her shoe of the summer. That's all she wears this summer. So shout out to you, Shafali, for listening to me, even though you had the answer within you the whole time.
She heating up.
Oh, dude, and I'll say, going to other stores like Urban Outfitters, definitely you can find those types of casual shoes. But don't ever sleep on, if you're going to Outlet Mall, the Reebok Outlet. There's some gems in there sometimes. My brother found, it was the runner. I think it was like the black with like the pony hair and purple. I can't remember the Currency that had the DMX runner. I can't remember who it was, but it was that DMX runner is like a super premium one. Found it for like $50, like things like that. Yeah, this was a little while ago, but if you go in there and look, I mean, you can find some nice stuff. Like I ran into the Vachetta Tan Kamikaze. Although I don't know what to do with an all tan shoe like that. It's super nice quality, and someone who really likes that have a chance to get it for very low cost. So don't sleep on your Reebok Outlet because those vintage Club C's hang around for like $50 there.
Good to know.
Good take. I didn't know there were Reebok outlets, so that's good to know. So we're actually going to outlet this episode. Outro. We're going to leave. I am very appreciative, though, for everybody for tuning in today. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Sneaker History channel.
Right,
gentlemen, where can they find you?
Yep. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789, YouTube at Mike Guillory, and, of course, Sneaker History all day, every day. Rohit, where do you at, buddy?
History Gang. I'm at RohitM13 on Instagram, Roheezy on Twitter. Follow us on Sneaker History because we do cool stuff, and we want you to be a part of that cool stuff. Robbie?
Yeah, you can
find member of this bunch. Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me at RAHBEE702. Again, thanks everybody, and have a good rest of your day.
See ya.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, I wanted to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. We just launched our new merch, including tees, stickers, keychains, and a bunch of other pieces you can grab to show your support for the podcast. You can purchase it now through our companion site, sittingtreasure.com. You can also get access to more episodes of the podcast by joining our Discord community at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Plus, we've got a bunch of other fun things going on in the community, including trivia nights, giveaways, access to sneaker raffles from around the world, release announcements, and my favorite, just good people helping good people get the sneakers they want. Plus, we're not bought by advertisers, investors, or other big money. I'm confident in saying this is the best sneaker community I've ever been a part of. We've also teamed up with a few partners to offer our supporters discounts. You can find some in the links for this episode and even more in our Discord. Give us a try, and if you don't enjoy it, you can always cancel the membership at any time. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to be on the receiving end of someone showing appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.